So there are a lot of churches out there that have an organizational issue where they're keeping things, most people are still keeping things on paper or spreadsheets. And so that's kind of the problem that we were trying to solve is how do we organize meetings and appointments and tasks and scheduling, all that kind of stuff. How do we organize that into a software and then use AI to go ahead and automate a lot of the processes so it takes out a lot of the grunt work. And so that's, again, that's what we are doing with this software to give you an overview. Basically, I'll walk you through the software step by step. We have the first page, which is the bishopric, so it's the leadership. They have their different agendas, and what's nice is you can go back in the past and you can see, hey, here's exactly who had what assignments and what were the notes from the meeting. So everything is just nice and organized, and you can even go into the future as well. And then you can say, hey, we're not holding the meeting this week, or we are holding the meeting. And then there's a template page where you can say, hey, we want to automate or not automate, but we want to change up how each meeting goes each week. So then you can just go into the template feature, which is nice. And that changes all the future meetings. And then what's really nice, and I'll show you more of how this works in a second, is it automatically texts out and emails out a request to say, hey, would you give the opening prayer? Would you give the thought? Would you give this? And then based on whether they say yes or no, then it goes ahead and it confirms them. If they say no, then it goes and moves to the next person automatically. Again, all using AI. And then that takes out a lot of the grunt work of manually sending out a lot of texts every week. Um, and then you have assignments as well of here's how it worked in the previous weeks. Here's how it's going to be in the upcoming weeks. You can update the rotation as well of how basically how people are asked to give thoughts and things. Then you have ward council of the church, and you have their agenda right here, same type of thing. Notes. You have assignments as well, future assignments, rotation, same type of structure, different meeting. Then you got sacrament, so the meeting, and then you have their agenda. Boom, boom, boom. Same thing. People are asked. People are confirmed. You can go on here and you can go through and you can say, hey, I actually need to switch it to this person. Easily done. You can add announcements. Boom, right here. And then that'll just get added onto the announcements right here. And then you can change the template as well and say whether a meeting is held or not. So same structure. Um, Assignments, and then hymns as well. So just again, keeping everything organized. Imagine having to keep all this on a spreadsheet. This would get pretty hectic. And then you have appointments for each of the schedules on here. They can go through and say, hey, who's on my schedule in the upcoming weeks, and so on. So everyone's schedule is just in one spot. You can see availabilities, booking rules, adding appointments and go through and say, hey, let's add this person, boom, and then automatically adds them on their schedule. Or two, you can go ahead and request an appointment, and then you just select who you want to meet with, and then you go ahead and it automatically sends out a text and an email, and then they automatically get put on your schedule, and that takes them off that list to ask them to schedule an appointment. Then you have the directory. You can update the members. You can add a contact, um, and then tasks as well. You can move these around, which is nice, and everybody can kind of have their own tasks to follow up on. You can add them. You got pipeline right here as well, which is cool. Basically, this is the automations area of AI sending out text, sending out reminders, all that kind of stuff for the different types of people that it's reaching out to every single week. Um, and then you can enroll somebody as well. And then you have conversations. You can see everybody that has messaged, and then weekly emails. These go out automatically to the ward council, and the bishopric. That's a brief overview of the of this church software.